Hey y'all, welcome and come on in because y'all know I'm going to show you how to make a classic beefy cheesy lasagna today. Your whole family's going to love it and you don't want to miss this recipe. I'm starting straight out with 1 pound of ground beef. This is a 73-27% ground beef, but you could use an 80-20, but don't go with that lean beef, okay? This ain't the time for 93% lean beef. Your meat going to be dry, all right? Go ahead and break it up, and you're going to cook this beef and then drain about half of the fat. Go in with 1 medium diced onion and just toast that onion in there. And then I'm going to go in with my seasonings. I have Italian seasoning, some complete seasoning, and y'all know I love me some bouillon, okay? And then I'm using some onion and herb seasoning. I showed y'all how to make this on my channel, and I'm going to toast those herbs for about 1 minute. For my fresh seasonings, I'm first going to be using some diced peppers, and this is a mixture of bell peppers and a little bit of banana pepper for a little flavor, and about 4 cloves of garlic that have been minced and 2 bay leaves. Toast those for about 2 minutes and then add a generous pinch of salt and a lot of chopped onion, honey. I love onion, okay? And so this is going to give your lasagna sauce a wonderful flavor. I've diced 3 large tomatoes, but you could also just use a can of diced tomatoes. That will work perfectly well. But the tomatoes in my garden are popping right now, so I'm going to use that freshness. Some dry red wine is going to give your sauce a deep flavor. A half a cup would be good, as well as 1 jar of your favorite spaghetti sauce. I'm using this olive oil and garlic one today, but any one that you like will do for this recipe. Now, y'all know I'm not going to leave the extra sauce in that bottle. Add about 2 cups of water and swish it around and get everything that is left. It is important to add the water because we need a loose sauce and it's going to cook for a while. Now, I don't know if anyone told you this, but sugar does indeed belong in spaghetti, honey. Okay, it's needed to balance out the flavor. And I'm going to cook this on low for 1 hour. About 10 minutes before it is done, add half a cup of chopped up basil and then just let it cook the last 10 minutes. If you don't have an hour to cook this sauce, at least do 30 minutes because you want that flavor to develop on that sauce. If your sauce is kind of dry by the time you're finished, just go ahead in and add about half cup more of chicken broth. Now, I didn't realize that ricotta in lasagna was very controversial for some people. They really don't like it. But today, since I'm doing just a classic lasagna, I am going to be using ricotta, and I'm using 15 ounces of whole milk ricotta with a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, as well as a 1/4 cup of fresh parsley. Okay, y'all know it ain't gourmet unless you're using some parsley. Okay, I love parsley for the cuteness, and I'm also going to add in an egg to bind everything and mix that up very well. Next, you will need a half a cup of Parmesan cheese as a nice nuttiness to your ricotta. And honey, we have made all the layers of our lasagna now, and we're just going to go ahead and put everything together. I have a small pan for my lasagna, and I'm going to be using an Italian style cheese today. So that's like mozzarella, parmesan, a couple other cheeses all blended, and these oven ready lasagna noodles because I don't want to fool with boiling. All right, sometimes when I do my lasagna, I just don't want to do that. However, to compromise, since I'm not going to be boiling noodles, you do need to make sure that your sauce is a little bit more liquidy, okay? So if you simmer yours for say more than an hour, or you don't put enough water in it, you will need to add more water so you ensure that your lasagna is not dry. Or alternatively, you can just add about a half a cup of chicken broth and just spread it all throughout the lasagna, just sprinkle it on top of the noodle layers. All right, now as you can see, I started out with a layer of the meat sauce, then I put on 3 of the noodle sheets, and then I'm going in with about 1/3 of my ricotta. Now really, I could have put on a little bit more cheese on top of the ricotta before adding the noodles, but I didn't, and that's my business, and I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. You layer yours any way you want to, honey. I'm then going to go in with a little bit more of the sauce, and I'm just going to continue to layer everything until my whole lasagna pan is filled. Now I'm starting to go in with some of the last layers of this lasagna. I have my ricotta I'm putting on, and I'm putting on the rest of it to make sure that I use up everything. My last layer of noodles, and then my last bit of the sauce. I'm just going to put all that's left on top. Remember, you do not want a dry lasagna when you're using these ready-made noodles, all right? And then I'm going to go in very generously with the cheese. Everybody loves a cheesy crust lasagna. That's the perfect way to make it. So I'm just going to pack it on. Look, pay attention. All right, pay attention. You need to take 5 toothpicks and stick them in the corners of your pan and also in the middle. You do not want the cheese to stick to the top of your lasagna. That will just ruin the whole dish, okay? Please make sure you do this, and then put your foil on kind of like a scent. Cook your lasagna at 375 for 25 minutes. The last 5 minutes, cook it uncovered to allow the cheese to brown. You could also broil your top on low, but keep an eye on it, okay, to make sure your cheese doesn't burn. And I'm going to tell y'all a secret. My cheese did burn, but I went ahead and added a little extra cheese on top to help whiten up the top. Put a little parsley on it. Look, honey, ain't nobody know. Okay, they still ate it and they loved it. All right. And this lasagna was indeed delicious. Now, I'm going to go in and just show y'all the layers and the inside and just show y'all how cheesy and gooey and delicious it is. Honey, if you enjoyed this lasagna video, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button and go ahead and subscribe, because y'all know I'm bringing y'all delicious recipes every single week. Guys, I love you and God loves you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, and I'll see you later.